because we have heard signs of life from Devon. I do. Oh, it's got the old sounds in it as well. Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sea of Souls live stream. Happy New Year. It is 2023. Sorry for the delay. We've had multiple technical difficulties tonight, it seems. I think every one of us has had at least something go wrong when we joined Zoom or previous. So that's the start. That's how it is.
I'm still trying to figure out my lighting.
Yeah, we already decided that we're going to blame Hasbro. So it's everything's their fault right now. But welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're excited for a new year of gaming, and we're gonna jump right in. But we do want to just say just something quick. Don't really want to go into the details about the whole open gaming license fiasco and stuff. If you've been following TTRPG D&D news lately, then you know what's going on there. But just for our own stance on that, just a little prepared statement. I'm just going to read what we wrote here and post it on Twitter as well, because we want to stand with all other creators during this. So as the Elder Brain is small content creators, as DMs, players, fans of D&D, and the TTRPG industry as a whole, we are concerned about the negative impact the OGL 1.1 will have on all third-party creators, big and small. And we voice our discontent with Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast and hope they will listen to their community to see reason before they ruin our game. The OGL 1.1 hurts every creator, period, both big and small. As for us, we're going to continue to stream our D&D game because we still believe in our content. We still want to have fun, and we still want to put this out there for you, for our friends and our fans. So for the time being, nothing's going to change for that, but we do want to voice our concern with what the direction that Hasbro and Wizards are going, and we hope that it will change. And that's all we're going to say on that, because there's enough that's been said elsewhere. But voice your discontent as well. Make your voice heard if you can, if you're on social media, so that they see that we are not happy. Nobody is happy about this. And that's enough of that terrible sadness, and let's get into other sadness that may happen in a fantasy way, not in the real world. Or joy, we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to jump in. It's been a while. I hope that everybody had a good break. We did our holiday one shot, which was a ton of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. That was a really cool adventure. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. And you can catch other VODs of our previous streams there as well. So go and check that out. It was a lot of fun. My favorite were the paint deer. And just the concept of it is hilarious. But jumping into the Sea of Souls, our ongoing campaign, episode 53. When we left off, the Radiant Dawn had set sail from Valtir en route to Queous, hoping to stop by a ruined lighthouse familiar to one of the crew. The second day of the journey across Dasuna's Rim, a ghost ship was spotted on the horizon, none other than the dread Asuna, captained by the vampire Uragani. And after a brief attempt to flee, realizing that not only was it not possible, but that the Asuna wanted to parley, an offer was given by Uragani on behalf of Umbra to withhold his forces from attacking you, both the living and the dead, provided that you hunted down an ex-priest of Umbra, now in the service of Grimorgan, the goddess of decay and corruption, and killed this priest for Umbra. With the tentative deal reached, you found the deck of the Asuna drop out from beneath you and were forced to walk across the water back to your own ship to continue your journey. As you return to your ship, however, before you can even move on, you come aboard to find that Kadana has a scroll in her hand, and she's kind of just staring at it. And as you step on board, Donaar, she kind of holds it out. Captain, as soon as you, the ship, the ghost ship just disappeared, this was in hands. It just poof. It has your name on it, so I don't want it. She hands it to you. She just got thrusts it at you.
All right. I'll read it. What does it say?
As you open it up, you find a scroll written in what appears to be not necessarily ink. And it says, I did so enjoy our little parley. Your quarry served Umbra in the town of Enhold, also known as Easthold, before his betrayal. Perhaps the swamps between there and Sothold would be a good place to begin. And it's marked with a U. A parting note from the vampire captain.
We did agree to go do that thing.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, literally just made a deal with the devil.
I don't think it was that bad.
Just saying, fellas, when the gotcha inevitably strikes, I'm reserving the right to say I told you so.
We were up against a wall, unfortunately. I hope that we can make this up to you in time, Flick.
He just he hand up and he just goes up to the flick nest. He's not in a discussing mood right now.
Torque just kind of watches him go and goes like, no, that's fair. We deserve that. Well, Captain, where to next?
I would assume we just return course to visit the Tayland estate, unless we want to immediately go and do this other thing.
No, I think we need to settle this this keep first. Might be handy to establish a base of operations.
So your original course, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, was to go past the lighthouse, was it not? And then to the keep, or were you heading straight to the keep?
I believe we were going to go past the lighthouse, if I remember.
That was the original plan until we were chased north.
And then you steered north. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We only deviated because the Asuna was on our tail, and we're not dumb.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly.
All right. So do you decide to just continue straight on to Queous then?
Donaar will consult with the crew, but since we're already up north, I don't see the reason to go back down south.
Yeah, we have deviated quite a bit from our original trajectory.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just go to Queous.
I mean, it makes more sense to me. We can hit the lighthouse on the way. Was there something on the northern side that we wanted to check out?
There was.
In the northern, there was there was a risen temple. Let me mark that again. I need my markings here. So it wasn't on the northern side. It was right about. No, shrink, you thing. Don't move. Shrink. There you go. It's in here on this island. Serena had marked that there was a strange temple that had risen that you were thinking potentially had some connection to the Valshar Void or something else. The point of note, I guess, for the northern islands was that it's very shallow and unmapped, and so it was a bit potentially dangerous to sail that close, which is why you'd taken the southern route in the first place and not hugged the islands, because there's more open sea, less chance of scuttling.
And refresh me, the terms of the deal. We were told to not dilly-dally too much, but how much leash were we explicitly given?
You were given no time frame specific. But
Yeah,
just-
there was nothing negotiated about when it had to be done. Just, I mean, I'm going to assume that there is a time limit. It's just, because it wasn't specified, I don't think it's anything urgent.
Yeah. I don't have any notes on a timeline.
That was a little bit unclear.
The only reason I assume that there is a time limit is because I believe the agreement was that their forces would stay away from us while we were working to complete this task.
correct.
And if we were to, and I am assuming, if we were to just be like, oh, well, if we just don't do it, we'll never be you know what I mean? Like, I assume
Yeah.
if we start trying to abuse that,
That was
goes on for too
implied.
long.
Malicious compliance.
That was
Exactly.
implied by Urgani, yeah, that if you were to just be like, we're just not going to do it, then the deal would be off.
yeah. So we definitely don't want to dally too much on it, but it's also not something we immediately need to go do.
Well, let's at the very least keep the boat pointed in the same direction as.
I would have to assume
target.
that the minion of something as powerful as that can kind of just is going to generally be keeping an eye on us. If nothing else, at least know where we are in the Sea of Souls. Like, I don't know how they would keep track of us, but I can assume that everything the Sea of Souls touches, they have some level of understanding about.
Didn't Donaar like spit shake on this or something too? Like there was a
He attempted to, but she was just like, we've given her word,
gross.
that's it, it's done. Yeah, the lady that drinks blood was like, ew, I don't want to touch your spit hand.
other bodily fluids are icky.
Nasty, gross. What are you, heathen? Disgusting. Yeah.
All right, so we'll set sail for Queous then.
All right.
But a man must be blind to make up his mind and go to sea once more.
So, the flight from the Asuna, plus the encounter, your journey back to walking across the water back to your ship, and this discussion, you've pretty much eaten up the majority of the second day. So you have the option of you can just stay put. It's probably about another 4 or 5 hours left of what's considered, good sailing hours. Most people don't sail at night unless they have to. Or you can push on, stay where you are, and then resume in the morning.
When we're moving, is everybody, like all of the party, including the crew, generally just working nonstop to keep us going, or is there a relative amount of like downtime on the ship?
So the way that we sort of worked it, the way I assume is it's kind of like shift, right? So, for example, I think Salty was on watch at one point when Flip was not. So there's kind of like the part of the crew has kind of taken the the night shift, as it were, even if you're not sailing, just to sort of keep things afloat, keep watch, that sort of thing.
So most ships would operate on a port shift and a starboard shift, which were 4 hours back and forth. Is that how we're operating?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Exactly what I was thinking.
So then my thought is,
me know nothing of that. So
considering we just came back from the Asuna and we're not dead, and the crew is probably quite uncomfortable about that fact, we may want to hold up here and maybe have a bit of a shindig to release some tension that is almost certainly building in the ship.
Full disclosure.
Basically, just because if we're like, oh no, the Asuna. Anyway, let's keep going. I
don't worry about it.
I feel like the crew's gonna be like, are we like, are they ghosts? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, I feel
if we're
too busy keeping the ship moving during actual travel, we're not going to have the chance to properly talk to the crew. So I feel like if we drop anchor here and unkeg or uncork some of the kegs, get some wine going, perhaps a bit of port, maybe some whiskey, rye, then some rum, of course, and some grog, Old Mountain Dew, good Howling Gale, maybe some ambrosia, a bit of absinthe. Anyway,
I think we get the point.
we
Yeah.
get that out. We start divvying it up to the crew, and we kind of just be like, "Hey, it's okay. We're okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And then we can continue moving. That's my thought.
Okay.
That's fair. I'll make a note that while all of these drinks are being handed out, Donaar specifically is not participating in the drinking.
Okay. Noted. All right, so you are having a revelry. Increase the crew's morale and to kind of reassure them. I'd say for this, Talon, are you adding any entertainment?
Oh yeah, I mean we're
along
gonna
with
be.
this?
Yeah, I mean I don't know how we want to do. I want to do it like I don't think this is like an itinerary type thing, right? Like is Donaar gonna give a speech? How do we do? So we're gonna be like, hey, all hands on deck to the kegger, and then it was like, you know, I can entertain them with song, but I almost feel like it's better to get the like, hey, speech out of the way first, gauge the crew, and then I can break the awkward silence by singing a song about dead men on a dead man's chest.
Yeah. Break the awkward silence with awkwardness.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Come on, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
All right,
Dead
so
and be damned.
Talon performance.
Drink.
The
and
captain is
devil
gonna
and
give a
devil.
rousing suck it up and keep moving speech.
I think
Something along those lines.
Donaar is going to.
That's up to the captain.
I think Donaar is going to try to give as much as the whole notion didn't fly over well with Flick. I think Donaar is going to try to appeal to everybody's experience with the Sea of Souls and the
Get Torque to do a speech.
blackness. That's. I mean, because our crew was on the ship when we were chased all the way up north to Valtier in the first place. The group from the Ivory Spire that was with us were driven out of their home, their work from the Black Death, and we certainly have had our experiences with it. So I think Donaar is going to try to, persuade, just
Fair.
on experience and say, look, this is the worst, but dealing with that as we try to pursue our goals is not something that would be easy. So if this gives us a little bit more freedom on the seas, then we have to take it.
All right. What's Flick's plan during all of this?
Throw tomatoes at us from the crow's nest.
I mean, once things are rolling, then he's going to try and corner each of the officers. I'm gonna have a quiet moment with each of you over the course of this. But as for the revelry, I don't think he's not feeling it. I don't know that he would.
Okay. So I'm going to say, with Flick visibly absent and not really feeling it, Donaar, your persuasion check is going to be a disadvantage
Yeah, that's fair.
because the crew is like, you're trying to rouse them, and the crew is like, why isn't This was slick.
Why are one of you missing?
Yeah. All right.
So persuasion. Sorry.
Anything to add or subtract?
I mean, I'm not sure if Torque can contribute much to this. I think I have a +1 in persuasion, but I don't think I'm
Torque. This is perfect because I've had this idea for a new type of way to take a shot. It's called the shell shock.
I am wondering if I am going to find this offensive.
No. It's a shell of a time.
Shocking.
Shell shocking.
You know, you people tend to make fun of us a lot for having these shells. I'm not sure why. I mean, there's plenty of things about you that are weird. Nipples, for example. Seem superfluous, and only half of you even use them. You don't see us calling attention to it. At least my shell serves a purpose.
Happy 2023, everybody.
Oh, what a start to the year.
You mammals.
Oh my goodness. Oh, clip.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's amazing.
Oh, man.
So Torque's not contributing, or
I mean, I
suppose-
have a plus. I actually have a +2 to persuasion. I guess as acting quartermaster, Torque can try and sidle up to the captain and maybe add some additional hopeful words of encouragement.
Perhaps a blessing for the crew.
that can cancel out the disadvantage from Fleck, then I would say.
Okay. All right, let's roll my...
I understand that everything that we have experienced within the past few weeks has been quite above and beyond the job description as it was given to you. With that in mind, we do appreciate your contributions to this crew, and we will make sure that your compensation is appropriate for what we are asking of you.
All right, rolling my persuasion. That's not good. That's 6 plus 1. 7.
Boy.
Oof.
Tayland, performance check, please.
Aye, sir. For just one time, I would take the Northwest Passage. Ooh, 19. I could definitely do better than
The
that.
19's a good result, but it's not good for you.
No.
By the way, your hands are a lot smaller than I thought. And red, yeah, shirt changed color there. That was interesting. 19. Okay. Bit of a mixed result, I would say. There's a good amount of drink, and the speeches don't quite go over as well as you'd hope. They're kind of like, okay, you know, that doesn't like rouse them, doesn't get the crew like, yeah, like we got this, but they're more kind of just like, all right.
It's not a mutiny, so we are
I guess-
thankful for that.
I guess we're still alive, and we're okay. Once they get into, you know, the shanties and the drink and just kind of, you know, horsing around and stuff, and able to kind of forget some of that, then the overall mood kind of improves. There's still that air of like dread kind of hanging over, right? And so there's that, it's like, yeah, we're having fun, but then every now and then you catch one of the crew just kind of like staring up to sea, just being like, hey, yeah. So there's everybody's a little bit distracted and a little bit off, and you can just kind of sense that tension that's still there. So because of the general tension overall, the crew quality is going to drop by 1 from 5 to 4, which is still good.
That's better than it would have been if we hadn't done this.
It would have, yes. So they're a little bit disheartened, but they're still all right. That's still loyal. They're still seeing it through.
Sometimes it's not about making everybody happy. It's about making sure they're not miserable.
No, they've seen some things.
So I was going to keep them baseline. Yeah.
Crew's seen some things, and they're like, yeah, we've seen some things.
Listen, we'll throw a pizza party, and we'll let everybody go home an hour early. We'll have Institute Casual Fridays, and
this ship is our home. Where are we gonna go? All right. So the evening wears on. Flick, you'd mentioned that you wanted to kind of pull.
Yeah, I'll sort of find opportune moment to. I think I'll start with Donaar to sort of corner him. Where would Donaar be hanging out during the revelry? Are you at the wheel while everyone else is sort of down below? Or
I imagine that Donaar is at a high spot, as high as he can without going up to your Flick's nest. So yeah, probably up by the wheel because he's got his eyes on the horizon.
All right, you see me scamper down. Sort of make eye contact and just sort of come on over. AD.
Hey, Flick.
Okay, look. I can kind of see what Torque's angle is. And he just got his girlfriend and his god both killed. So he's kind of at loose ends. I get that. And Talen's kind of the other side of that coin. The more put together that guy gets, the spookier he gets. So I can see him diving into this, but I don't get your take. You've never been an ends justify the means kind of guy. So you're certainly smart enough to know that old Captain Pointy there didn't start out as the vampire skipper of a famous ghost ship, right? There are slippery slopes happening here, and just you're going into this with eyes open, right?
I missed Flick's vernacular.
Yeah. Flick, let's just say that as our adventure has gone on, we've all seen more things than we perhaps have in the past. You remember that night that that really bad storm came up and all of us started seeing things?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I remember that one.
So, what I saw on that ship was one of my old shipmates. He most certainly is not alive, yet I am 100% certain that what I saw before me was, at least, if nothing else, some kind of image of him. That kind of changed things. Yeah, I'm always on the up and up, but there is something about what is going on in the Sea of Souls that is just an abomination. And while I don't like making deals with the evil side of things, the less I have to deal with what's going on in the Sea of Souls right now, the better.
All right. Look, I'm not gonna sandbag or anything here. I'll do my part, but objection noted, right? You got it?
Of course.
All right, Skipper. Enjoy the party. And he'll just sort of blend into the crowd a little bit. Maybe actually grab some grog on his way by. He's
he's nice.
And I will find Torque next.
All right.
Where would Torque be during the revelry at this point?
At this point, Torque would probably have removed himself from the rest of the group. He's probably just at the front of the ship, the prow, just kind of looking out at the water.
Kind exactly where I pictured both of you. This is good. This is great.
There we go.
And you hear Flick, like Flick makes his presence known. Because he can sneak up on you if he needs to, but the slap of feet on the deck.
Mhm.
Like, hey, little guy. Nice night, eh?
Torque will just sort of grunt in reply while not looking away from the water.
Hey, have I ever talked to you about my goblin faith before?
Not that I would recall.
You know why that is? Because we ain't got none. Yeah, my people have been conquered so many times we don't even have our own religion. Just kind of glom onto whoever's in charge of us this time. And often, don't believe in nothing at all. I thought it was different here. I thought we was actually free of all that. Or, at least not eagerly volunteering to be hitmen for the god of death, Seriously, first chance we get after killing your last patron and you're signing on with the death god. Like, there's no way we're getting out of this without some kind of mark, right? Then we're getting this is going to change us doing this gig, right?
I'm tired, Flick, and I'm old. I may not make much mention of it, but I don't believe that I will have much time left on this world, and I can already feel my strength wearing thin. Try as I might, I can't fight a battle on two fronts in my current state. It's not an ideal situation, but I'm not even sure if we'll be able to successfully fend off Triskades. I couldn't take on another god on top of that. I'm sorry. And if you hate me for the decision I made, then I don't blame you in the slightest.
Yeah.
I've spent the majority of my life hating myself, so I understand the sentiment.
Oh, hey, whoa. Listen, the reason I'm this worked up is because I love you guys. I love you, Torque. You're a good fella. And you should listen to me and stop with that hate word. No.
I wasn't always good, Flick.
You think I have a pristine, crystal clean past? Yeah, no, we all done stuff.
The circumstances, though, were a little bit different.
Except in
I assume that most of what you did was out of desperation. I'm afraid I can't make that excuse. I have killed countless people, many of them innocent, and worst of all, I enjoyed it.
I don't see you doing that anymore. Sure as hell aren't enjoying it anymore.
I thought that the discovery of my faith would change things. I thought this would present an opportunity to redeem myself, as selfish as that sounds. Now, like you, I am without faith, although, unlike you, I have known and lost the aid of a higher power.
Yeah, but you still got me. And clap him on the shell a little bit. Now listen, seriously. How's this sound for a deal? I have faith in you. If you got faith in me, I think we're doing all right.
Well, I can't say for certain, but that just might be enough.
Us green guys got to stick together, right?
Mm.
All right. I'll give him one more. More of a. It turns into a hug. It was meant to be another brotherly clap of it. And then just sort of walks off.
Like it just can't even get his arms around him.
Sort of a cat rubbing against your leg.
It's like trying to hug a wall. You just kind of spread your arms out. And
And suddenly flick ascends to God.
All right, where's Tayland in all this mess?
How has the kegger done, or is it like?
I'm assuming party is still.
Can we do a last call if I'm the bartender?
Is there such a thing?
Assuming this is like later in the evening, like around the time when folk would normally start getting hunkered down, I'd assume that I am heading in that direction. Maybe doing a quick walk around the deck just to kind of like clear up a little bit before heading down to slumber. I would assume that would be the case.
All right, I will
probably with some swill, just kind of tossing it everywhere on and off the side of the ship and onto the deck. San Jose was lost to sea along with her Gungrim company, her powder caught on her fists. Attack the king never got his emeralds back.
Yeah, I'm assuming that I'll come and sort of help you pick stuff up a little bit. The equivalent of like picking up all the solo cups off the ground and maybe get a spiritual swabby to polish up some of the deck and just. Hey, Tayland.
Hey.
What the hell is up with you? No, wait, no. I'm not going to start that way. It's okay. It's obvious that you had other plans for Mr. Sparkle, and you've been thinking to yourself for about a month now, what's the good this goblin going to do, instead of whatever plans you had. I don't need to know what it was. I don't particularly care. I'm just here to make some amends. I figured I could tell you what the good a goblin's gonna do in song. What do you say? This little number, it's a work song from the camps and ships that I grew up in. It's supposed to be like a call and response kind of thing, but you didn't know the responses, so I'll just do it all. Just sit, listen, and absorb. Easy target for the whip. What's the good a goblin do? Eats the rats aboard your ship. What's the good a goblin do? Never lets your secret slip. What's the good a goblin do? Easy target for the whip. Eats the rats aboard your ship. Never lets your secret slip. That's the good a goblin do. Lives inside the cargo hold. What's the good a goblin do? Leaves the bread and eats the mold. What's the good a goblin do? Turns your garbage into gold. What's the good a goblin do? Lives inside the cargo hold. Leaves the bread and eats your mold. Turns your garbage into gold. That's the good a goblin do.
Can I?
What? Oh, there's more.
Oh, by
Yeah. Oh man.
by all means.
Shovels this and carries that. What's the good a goblin do? Drinks your booze and blames the cat. What's the good a goblin do? Looks great in a pirate hat. What's the good
a goblin do?
Shovels this and carries that. Drinks your booze and blames the cat. Looks great in a pirate hat. That's the good a goblin do.
Craig, can I give Ian inspiration?
Can I give Ian inspiration?
Yes, Ian gets inspiration.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Obedient and happy,
goodness,
but what's the good a goblin do? Cross us and you get a cut. What's the good a goblin do? Or you lose your you know what. What's the good a goblin do? Obedient and happy, but cross us and you get a cut. Or you lose your you know what. That's the good a goblin do. And there's one more verse, but this was the one that brings the house down.
Oh my word.
And it'll usually earn you a couple of days in the hole. But this is the important one. I tell everyone I see, what's the good a goblin do? About the master's tyranny, what's the good a goblin do? I hope one day we'll all be free, what's the good a goblin do? I tell everyone I see about the master's tyranny, I hope one day we'll all be free, that's the good a goblin do. 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 And they bows.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that needs to turn into an actual song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been might have been working on that for a bit, but you know.
Yeah, you freaking have inspiration. Like, heck yeah. Oh my word.
Wow.
If you already have it, you have more.
I was going to say, I feel like inspiration doesn't cover it.
No. Oh man.
So are we even? He's saying to Talon now.
I don't really know what to say other than you need to work on your timing a little bit, and the I mean, you could use a bit of a baritone, and some of the bars are a little dragged. Now what the hell? I can't stay mad at a cute face like that.
Yeah, so he does a little chucks you on the chin, little slap on the cheek kind of thing. Like, that's my boy. Whatever else you got going on, buddy, just remember, we're in this together.
I did have an idea of what I wanted to do, but where there's a will, there's a way.
Awesome.
And if, for what it's worth, I am happy you're still with us.
I will take it. Good night.
You gotta write down that song for me.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you want some of this? It's moonshine.
Yeah, sure. I'll take a slug.
I hid it under one of the floorboards so that the captain doesn't know it exists.
I mean, considering the volume of booze that is on this ship, yeah, sure. Captain doesn't know about it though. This is the secret reserve. Got it.
Didn't realize Donaar was such a threat to the booze.
It's like dragonboard eggs or something horrendous too, like that. Right?
It's more so the label, which is called Donaar's missing brain cell.
Oh boy. Oh dear.
Only
No,
one
it's
missing
bigger.
brain cell? No. I think there's more than that.
Well, now that song's getting me in my head all night.
Thank you for getting Unholy out of my head.
Hey, no problem.
Dude, seriously. That was awesome.
I mean, I feel like the show is over. We can't top
I
that.
was getting
Yeah.
what comes next.
Thanks
Show's
for watching,
over,
everybody.
Campaign's over.
That's our new theme song right there. Blame the cat. So
Next week we're just gonna play Monopoly.
something like that.
That's all, folks.
All right. Trim's gonna be pissed you missed that. So as the revelry winds down and the evening draws to a close, night watch is in place, but for the most part, you'll eventually catch some Z's. And the morning dawns.
Oh,
Painful.
nah, never mind. Continue.
Oh, there's something you need to take care of.
I just want to make sure that I can. Given the events of yesterday, including the message from Gungrim, Donaar will be alarming the door on his quarters.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Now that sounds like a useful thing to do.
Your door is now alarmed, so don't scare it.
And I had previously arcane locked it so that only you can enter the captain's cabin. So
Oh,
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
did I
Still
know
good to
about
have
that?
some backup though. I'd still put that alarm spell on there. I mean, arcane lock is in no way foolproof.
no, but it was over the course of any evenings that we've had where I've had spare spell slots, I've been whatever hatches and things just make them.
In the case of that, and this is more of I don't know if this is more of a rules question or more of like a DM question, but if that arcane lock was dispelled, would Flick know? Or would he have to like notice that it's not on the door anymore?
Does the spell give me an indication? I'm not intimately familiar enough with it.
I don't think it says anything about that. It's more
I
of a
don't
like.
recall seeing anything about that. But
I've always just wondered, like, if a mage if someone casts a spell, like a permanent emplacement, do they have any kind of awareness of it, or is it set it and forget it?
It looks like arcane lock is set and forget, which is why doubling it with alarm is a good idea.
Yeah, because you're probably going to want to be checking on that.
I feel like
every now and again.
The way I see it, unless it's like a super complex kind of ritual that's, tied to a person that, an archmage is going to know when something disappears. More often than not, unless you're in the presence of it, you're not going to know that it was tripped or that it disappeared. You're not going to feel that because it's not concentration, right? There's no constant kind of arcane link to it. Concentration, obviously, you're going to know when the spell ends. So you're going to be like, oh, it's gone. It's a good thought, though. Good question. Okay, so with that done then, as the morning of the third day out of Valtir dawns, Donaar, not a D100, but can I get you to roll a D20, please?
Okay. Am I adding anything to this?
Nope. Just a straight D20.
That's a 2.
2. Okay. The morning dawns with a bit of an overcast sky and a not cold, but a cool breeze. It's looking a little bit gray. The wind doesn't seem like it's going to be either help nor hindrance. It's just kind of a stale breeze, not really going to do much. Does look like it could rain. Not exactly what the crew was hoping to wake to, given the previous day's encounter, so there's a little bit of that
Dreary.
kind of dreariness. But
Kind of matches the hangovers, though, so it might be okay. Don't want a nice, bright, sunny day when you're not feeling it.
You want it to fit your mood.
It's also you just don't want the sun in your eyes when it gives you a migraine,
Indeed.
Somebody turn that blasted sun off.
I think the elves have tried that before.
That's Umbra's tendrils just encircle the sun and darken. I'm like, oh wait, no, stop.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that.
Mr. Burns sunblocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
All right, well, we will set sail.
Okay. Full speed ahead, oars and sails, or just straight sails?
Straight sails. We're not in a particular rush.
Okay. I'm assuming Flick is in his usual spot.
Yaha.
All right, so I will get Flick to give me a perception check, and Donaar, you will give me a water vehicles check, please.
Middling, 13 on the perception.
This is +8. Wow, I'm rolling crap. That's a 3 + 8, so 11. For water vehicles, it's horrible.
Okay. So given the dreariness, the overall malaise of the crew, kind of putting everything together, you don't make as much headway as you would hope. But you're not significantly slowed either by anything. Flick, you're aware enough. You're still kind of not focused, but enough to spot any dangers before they come. You see some shallow spots. You're able to kind of call down, some navigational cues here and there. And so you're able to make it roughly within the 24 miles or so that you can expect in a day. Nothing out of the ordinary catches your attention on either horizon. It's a kind of a quiet day. The crew, goes about their work, working steady, working hard. There's a little bit of conversation here and there, but there still is that little bit of kind of quiet tension that just lingering aboard the ship. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to attend to on this day of the voyage?
No.
I said my piece.
I think that Torque would probably just continue making rounds to the rest of the crew, just checking on morale, and also just participating in the work so that what we've asked them feels like more like cooperation and less like delegation, if that makes sense. Like just like going and helping with like the rigging and whatever needs doing, just to show that like we're not above them or anything like that.
Okay. All right.
Craig, I'm trying to remember the crew, or the group from the Ivory Spire. They're still with us?
Correct.
Okay.
They're aboard, yes.
How many of them are there again? And they're all wizards?
There's 4, 5?
They're all casters, not necessarily
right
wizards per se. But you have with you Edwin Thargot, who is sort of an extraplanar scholar. You have Shalia, Master of Abjuration. You have Tucson, who is the orc cleric. You have Carvis. Carvis was the barkeep. You have Kamari, of course. And then you have Gary the guard.
Oh yeah, Gary. I forgot that we got Gary.
So there are 4 casters total. There's Kamari, Edwin, Shalia, and Tucson, who are the casters, and then Carvis, the barkeep, and Gary the guard. They were all sort of more specific from, along with Thomas Connor, who had already joined you sort of previously. They're all from that region.
In that
really
case,
filling out our ranks, huh?
Yeah, we have quite a few people on board. In that case, then Donaar would like to have what is probably going to be a brief conversation with Kamari.
Okay.
Donaar will also kind of be making rounds, although he's probably not going to go below deck because he is keeping his eyes on the horizon. But maybe if he needs to find Kamari, he'll do that.
Kamari spends most of her time either kind of in the galley or above deck. She doesn't like to really go under too much. She likes to hover and to kind of spread her wings out and
That makes sense.
enjoy the air. She occasions the flick nest, occasion up, every now and then. Feel the wind in her feathers. She's probably somewhere on the poop deck or even like the salvage deck, kind of hanging around the helm most likely. So,
Hey, Kamari, can I have a moment of your time?
Yes, of course. What is it, Donaar?
You know that note that arrived for me yesterday?
Which one? The
That's a good point.
one written in blood given to you by the vampire, or the other one that flew in the shape of a bird?
The one that was not written in blood.
Yeah, the one that looked like Paige, that was from the Gungrim.
Oh, yes, of course.
I was wondering if you or perhaps somebody from the Ivory Spire might be able to give me an idea or help me out with something to try to figure out a timeline for myself. Do any of you have the ability to scry?
Yes. I can scry. That I am a diviner. That is what I do.
So, actually, question for Greg. Would I be aware of a transport ship that was meant to pick up people of interest in the Gungrim Navy? Like, is this guy sending something that I would be aware of out to get me? Is he likely going to send somebody by teleport out to me? Do I have an idea, roughly, of how he might try to come and claim me?
give me a straight intelligence
Okay.
check.
So just my intelligence modifier?
Yeah.
That's a total of 13. That's a 9 plus 4. 13.
For individuals of high significance, there would be, sort of a bounty hunter crew or part of the Navy, special officers that would hunt a person down. You don't get the sense that, they're gonna like search to the ends of the earth for you, kind of thing. It wasn't like a we're coming for you. It was like a get to your nearest reporting location ASAP. So given enough time passing, they might send somebody after you,
Okay.
but you kind of get the feel that they're giving you the chance to present yourself.
Okay.
Just based on what you know of your history in the Navy, the kind of the tone of the letter, you know that you didn't, like, given the circumstances of the event as well, yeah, you're not like a war criminal or something. So,
Okay. All right. I should have asked that question first then.
what if you're a war criminal?
No, if I was aware of maybe how they might try to come and claim me. Okay.
Well, that's good to know, Kamari. I might use that in the future, if you would allow me.
Depending on what it's for, yes. I do value a person's privacy to a certain extent, right?
Well, I was more hoping to scry
I'm not
on...
going to spy on the next lover of yours or anything like that.
No.
I don't want to do that sort of thing.
No, I was more... maybe to get eyes on a particular ship. See if I could get its location.
If you have enough information about the ship, then that is something I could potentially do, yes?
Okay. That's all.
Donaar will
All right.
turn and walk.
Okay. Anything else to attend to on this part of the voyage? Right.
I think apart from what we said, probably not not too much.
I
Well,
want to
thank-
make sure that it's clear that I drink profusely.
I don't think that's ever. in
I'm
question.
starting to get worried.
Yeah. Thankfully, the rain holds off. You get like spitting here and there, just a little bit of a drizzle, but nothing too significant. So,
Is
the
Torque
night,
going around complaining about his joints?
yeah, the night actually clears up a little bit, and you can see some starlight as the clouds part, and it's actually a very nice moonlit night. Something else draws your attention for those of you who catch a glimpse of the sky this evening. There are a number of unusual things that one can see in the skies above Eudora. The moon itself, depending on the phase that it's in, with the broken bits of it kind of hanging off, creating the different signs. For example, magical auras. It's been said in rumor by many that on a clear enough night, if you can focus enough, that you can actually see the veil which separates the gods from the material plane. So they say. But there is definitely something odd about this evening sky. I'd say Talon is probably most likely to notice with your more keen perception, keen eyes. There's almost like a faint wisp of sort of purplish, bluish color, just one part of the sky, just tracing along some of the stars. There's just this wisp of color. You turn your head, it kind of fades for a minute, you look back, and it's just there. You spend enough nights at sea looking up at the sky. You've never seen this before. This is something new.
That ain't normal.
There's something you don't see every day. Maybe I should have some water. Donaar,
Yeah.
is that magic-y?
Well,
That looks magic-y.
that does look magic-y. Very, very keen observation. Yep.
Technical terms.
Yeah.
Is it like is the sky falling, or are we looking at like Armageddon, or is this more of just pretty colors?
That's a good question. Let me.
I've heard of this thing called Aurora Borealis, although it happening at this time of season, this time of day, and this part of the country localized entirely above our ship seems somewhat odd.
Well, it's,
Oh, wow. Whoa, excuse me.
it's often not that ominous kind of purple as well. So, why don't you let me just give me a second here? Let me take a closer look.
Donaar is going to
Yeah,
activate
yes.
his fracture ability, his true sight.
Thank you for that reference, Devin. Blam! Wow.
If you hadn't
No,
done it, I
mother,
was
it's
gonna.
just the
So.
Northern Lights.
All right, so we're using Chaos dice. So
Yep.
go ahead and roll a d6 for me, please, Mr. Mike.
I rolled a 5.
All right. You were spared from chaos.
Yay.
This is far beyond the range of your true sight. We're talking like edge of the atmosphere type thing.
Okay.
Up in space, or at least up in the upper layers of the sky. So your true sight does not reveal anything of note, other than giving you sort of a clarity, which is always kind of fun. It's like, whoa, I can see. So that doesn't change anything. And that does tell you that this is
Way up there.
far away. It doesn't just look small and far away. It is quite distant.
Let me test a theory here. Hey, Kadana,
Yeah.
come up here for a second.
All right. Captain, what? I'm gonna get a good stretch downstairs.
Sorry to interrupt your stretching.
That's all right.
Do me a favor, take a look up. Do you see that in the sky?
There are many that's in the sky. There's which that?
Well, without trying to lead you into answering yes, do you notice anything strange about tonight's sky?
What? This part of sky is little bit weird.
Weird how? Like colorful?
It's purpley.
Yeah, there's like cloud, but it's not cloud.
Okay.
What?
We're trying to sort it out. I thought maybe it had something to do specifically with what the four of us are going through, but obviously not. Thank you.
Oh yeah, fair point.
You could go back to your stretching. To your
What,
stretching.
middle age?
No.
What?
Sorry, no. Not middle age.
I just.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I see it. It's not
I
just
mean,
you. I see it.
I've got a flintlock
Whatever
pistol.
this
I
is.
feel like I've surpassed Middle Ages.
Uh,
But
I don't know what you mean, but I feel like he's referenced from other place, other time. I don't know. But yes, Captain, I see strange purple thing up there.
Okay. Thank you, Gadana.
Yes. I am not on duty, so if you need, you call Salty. If you need something to look at strange things.
Okay, yes, sorry.
Bye, Captain.
Bye.
And she just stops downstairs again.
Alright, so it's got nothing to do with the fact that we're fractured. Everybody can see that.
Is that good news or bad news?
How do you know Kadana's not fractured?
Well, that's my other thought right now is what are the chances that our entire crew has become fractured in our adventures?
Or
Donaar's
where's
weighing
the
a
I
lot of
mean,
things in his brain, and
was
Mike
it
is trying not to be
transmitted?
meta.
I mean, Donaar, you're acting as if the four of us are like main characters and only things can happen to us or something.
Actually, with your true sight, would you be able to see other fractured people? I don't remember how we detect.
I thought you were gonna say, could you use True Sight to see who the main character is?
Who's got the brightest colored hair? I think it's actually Tayland.
that's called metasight. Is it?
Well, to
I
speak
get the
of
craziest
meta,
hairstyle because I'm the only one with hair.
I was gonna say Tayland's, and he's got that blue flash in his hair, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I
think-
cast break the fourth wall.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I, Mike, am fairly certain that I know what we're seeing. Partially because I drew the dang thing. I think. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
That's a level of metagaming you don't see too often.
What is that? I drew it, so I know. But
I drew it, so I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what you're. I actually just pulled it up on my computer. I was like, oh yeah, that is purple. Okay. But I won't unveil.
Aha!
Pay attention to the break video. I'll just say that. All right. Anyways, back to the game.
weather warning.
I mean, we don't know what this is. It doesn't seem to be growing or getting closer, so I guess we'll keep an eye on it.
So you're saying I should not shoot it?
As someone who speaks from alternate life experience, do not shoot it.
That's fair.
What if we're speaking
Pickle Sarah.
hypothetically here? Speaking hypothetically here, what if I were to conjure a storm cloud in it?
I'd prefer if you just didn't touch it. Also, I don't think you can reach where that thing is, because if my true sight can't see it from here, it doesn't reach that far. I don't think that you can summon a cloud up that high. That looks beyond any of our ranges for...
Sounds like a
Attack.
challenge.
I am not challenging you. I'm just saying, please don't anger it.
So, on a scale of torque to flick, how much should we panic?
What are you saying?
Well, yeah, which one would be panicking more?
Have you
I
met
don't see-
torque?
I meant of a scale, like literal scale of like flick to torque.
Like, how big is the threat? Yeah.
Talon, let's put it this way. If you attack whatever that is, I'm heaving your booze overboard.
Yes, well, I think it would be in our best interest to leave it alone.
Hey, finally speaking your language. Good.
But you ruined my chance to say, we got a code green. And then still have you wondering which side of the scale we were.
All right.
I am just going to pretend it doesn't exist at this point.
I don't know what else we can do about it right now.
Cool. All right.
When
Evening
the
proceeds
moon
on.
hits your eye and you ignore
Brendan's
the
going to
sky.
make his perception check for his watch. The next morning dawns. Donaar, give me another d20, please.
13.
13.
Thing spun like a top.
Okay. It is a beautiful sunny day
Hey.
with a comfortable breeze.
Seems suspicious.
There's a good, decent wind. You feel like you can make use of. Cruising good spirits. Enjoying the nice warmth. Fresh air. Give me a navigation check. Let's call this a survival. Anyone. Whoever would like
I've got pretty good survival.
to believe, yeah.
Let's get the former pirate to do that.
Yeah. Torque may have traveled these waters before.
Hey, Craig, what season is it right now, just out of curiosity?
Oof. Whoa, that's 11.
It is currently it is sort of like high summer and approaching the end of summer.
Okay.
We
About
are
the
further
first
north, though.
harvest. Well, you are, but you're yeah. It's not. It's still warm.
So-
Like it's warm days, warm nights. Yeah. It's like
I
August.
rolled an 11.
An 11. Okay. You're not entirely sure how far you are out from Queous, as you're not familiar with the port itself. But given your surroundings, you estimate you should be able to make it there by the end of the day, if all goes well.
Promising.
So what's the plan for voyage today? Full sail ahead, regular.
Hoist up
That
the
would be
thing. Batten
up to the
down.
captain.
What's that thing spinning? Somebody should stop it.
I think we'll be as full tilt their full steam ahead without getting on the oars.
Okay.
Before we take off, though, Donaar is going to look up to where we had seen that purple streak the night before. Is it visible in the daylight?
Give me a perception check.
Because that would be mildly concerning if it was.
Would it?
Perception, I guess not, but it's an 11 plus 1, so 12. It's one
Don't
better
see
than my
anything.
passive. Okay.
No, it's clear blue sky, bright sunny day, a few clouds here and there.
Out of sight, out of mind.
All right. Okay, so not full speed, but full sail. And Flick, start us off with perception. Donaar, go ahead and give me that water vehicles check.
Solid 8. That's an 8.
Flick has not
Very
been
solid.
very perceptive lately at all.
No, he's been fixated on his knuckle bones, I think. Or actually, it's lefty's, shorty's thigh bone. I'm casting the bones.
The short left thigh knuckle.
Yes.
So I rolled a 9, but I have a plus 8, so that's a 17 for water vehicles.
Okay. All right. So with a little bit of wind that you can turn into a tailwind, you can increase your speed ever so slightly. Got good control of the helm on this day, the 30th of first harvest, end of the month for you. Last day of the month, actually. So you've been at sea for 4 days now. So this is the 4th day. And you set sail for Queous, hoping that you will arrive before the day's end. The day is clear. Beautiful day, actually. And you can see the crew is really in better spirits now. They kind of get that sense that we're approaching land. You know, we're got a beautiful day here. It's kind of easy to forget some of our troubles. You know, some of the crew that are off do some tow fishing off the salvage deck at the back. Catching some fresh fish. It's a good day. Such a good day that shortly into sort of mid-afternoon, you see your destination on the horizon. At first, you can just make out sort of a forested island, much like many of the rest here in these isles. And as you get closer, you can see a little bit of smoke rising. Not disconcerting smoke, just like chimney smoke kind of thing. And you can just make out the top of battlements. There is some sort of structure, keep, which indicates that you're on track and heading in the right direction. And over the next couple of hours, you see the port ahead of you, you see the dock. A couple of small boats, small fishing ship, a couple of rowboats there, not much else. And as you approach, you can see that there is indeed a keep. Fairly simple, sort of up on a rise. Off to one side, you can see partially overgrown, what looks like some farmhouses, some fields that are now laying fallow, but at one point would have had crops. There's a incomplete watchtower kind of off on one peninsula, kind of sticking out in front of the docks.
I hereby call that the Flick Tower.
And so you have indeed arrived at Queous Keep. I'll throw the map up for you there.
Ooh, very nice.
As you approach the dock, you see 3 figures kind of come, one sort of almost half running down the dock, 2 and behind. The figure at the front is a very large Ursidian, one of the bear folk, dark brown, grizzled fur, wearing fairly simple clothing, no armor, and just kind of walking with a staff. Got a little bit of a limp, but still keeping a pretty steady pace. They all just kind of watch as you pull in. You can see them kind of looking back and talking to one another. The other two individuals, one is a goblin in what sort of looks like patchy chainmail, got a rusty sword, dented shield. And the other is one of the Malkin, one of the cat folk. And you can see that she's got a shovel actually just like over one shoulder. And it's just kind of, you can see some dirt on her breeches and on some of her clothes, and she's just kind of standing there. They seem to be kind of confused and looking. But then as you get closer, they start to get a little bit more excited. And the bear folk, you can see them kind of waving as you draw in to port. As you dock, move you over one more here. The bear gentleman steps forward, kind of gruffly comes up.
Well, which one of you is Talon?
I believe that would be me, Lord Tayland Wavesinger Vale, Shadowbane, at your service.
You believe or you are certain?
I'm quite certain I know who I am.
I've had some doubts personally.
Well, I should hope so. Just the way that you said it was strange. If you are indeed Lord Tayland, I suppose it is now. Welcome to your keep, such as it is. We've received word of your arrival from the Council of Tyr. That's new. We weren't expecting that, to be honest. Can't say that I'm sad to hear that the Vale legacy is no more. Yourself excluded from that, of course.
No, of course.
Tayland. I am Gaius. I am the major domo of Queous, caretaker for many years, overseeing what there is left to oversee. This is Pruxia, gardener,
and points to the Malkin woman behind. She just kind of gives a little bit of a nod. She's still one eyebrow raised. She's just kind of staring you all down.
And this is Nubs, sort of de facto guard of the place.
Kind of gives a big wave. You see Nubs, he kind of looks closer towards you, looks at Fleck and goes,
I know you.
Do I know him?
It's true. Fleck knows every goblin.
Give me a I don't know if we call this a history check or just give me history. Yeah, we'll call it history.
Personal history is history, I suppose.
Yeah, it is personal history, so.
Yeah, no idea.
See, that was the problem. You shouldn't have had that moonshine.
You don't you don't really recognize him. But he does seem to recognize you. And
that's the worst.
Yeah. Yo, Flick. Yeah, you served under Garamond too. He was in the mines, right?
Don't remind me. Jeez, that was a while back.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we can do double harmony for your song now.
Song. Hey, wait, you teaching other people our song?
Just the good work songs.
That's all right, I suppose.
It's good to see that more of us got out, eh?
Every free goblin, right?
Yeah. You don't remember me? I guess it's okay. There's a lot of us in there, but that's all right. I can thank the red hand that I got free too. I'm assuming these got you out.
Yeah, good old Izar.
I can't hold this in anymore. If his real name is Nubs, do you even bother with a nickname?
Well, does it really matter if it's real or one made up? Name's whatever you want it to be.
I mean, the man calling himself Lord Talon Wavesinger Vale Shadow Bane is definitely
I
going
was
to
say,
just...
what sort of name is Talon, huh? You humans got weird names, if you ask me.
In my experience, fewer syllables is better. It saves much time. You don't have to
Aye.
talk as much.
Your big turtle friend there's got it right. Just keep it simple. Except for surnames, of course. Nubs Shin Splinter. You just got to have a good ring to it, to sort of define who you are. Like you got the Dog Slicer clan, you got the Shin Splinter, right? You got the Knuckle Whackers.
Is that you splinter shins, or that you have splintered shins?
They're terrible
Or that-
runners, let me tell you. They're
All right, look.
Or
We
is it
don't
that you
choose our
fight
history.
with
Look, we
shin
don't choose our
splinters?
history, all right? We don't choose where we come from, but we can make the best of it. So, nothing to you about what my name stands for. It's what matters to me,
Ain't that the truth?
eh?
I'll drink to that. Speaking of which, where's your booze, Talon?
Hey? Flask.
Your castle, where's the wine cellar? Come on, let's start the tour.
Well, castle is a bit overstated. It's a keep.
It's state.
Sure. Look, I don't know exactly what you're expecting to find here, but it's not going to be some sort of royal palace with everything all laid out for you. The keep hasn't been used in a number of years. Young Valencia was the last to occupy
So
this locale.
you've just been living here this whole time?
I am the major domo. It is my duty to keep the keep. To oversee these lands. That is my charge. I served Valencia. I served her mother, Wilhelmina. I served as long as I have been here. Now, as I said, I have no particular love for the Vale Lords and all of that, but Wilhelmina, she was a good mistress. Little Val was got a soft spot for her, that yes, before she left, but the Vale family hasn't used this place in a very long time. Eventually, with no money coming in to keep the place going and no need for guests and the like, well, everybody left. The homesteaders, everybody who used to sort of live and work here has moved on. And so it's the three of us that are left. Well, until now, I suppose.
When was the last time anyone stayed here?
Other than us?
Yes.
How old did Vale be? Valencia be? Well, it's probably been at least 10 or 11 years or so. Now look, we've kept the place neat and tidy. There's just not a lot of finery and the like. You'll have to see to that yourselves. Assuming that you wish to keep us on as your staff, unless you have your own people to come, then I can, of course, help facilitate that.
I would hate to displace one who has served so well.
Appreciate that.
Besides, I imagine there are quite a few things that we can discuss, being that you have served the family for some time, as I understand it.
Not the family. I've served Lady Wilhelmina. I served young Val. I owe no deeper loyalty to the larger Vale lineage. Again, yourself excluded from that. I've heard the details. You were...
Either way, I'd be curious to know more about what has transpired here these last few years when you did serve them. Not now, obviously.
A lot of dice playing, a lot of...
Ooh. You
trying
play
our
dice.
hand at an orchard, but we can't quite seem to get the soil right. But we're not exactly a frequented port. We're not even on the trade routes, as you know. We're sort of out of the way, so not a lot happens. I have a feeling that's about to change.
Well, yeah.
Well, follow me then, I suppose.
Yes,
you
the
up
tour, of course.
to the
Let
keep,
us
show
let us
you the
see
lands.
what wonders and splendors await.
Yes. Oh, sorry. My mind isn't what it used to be. Which one of you is the captain? Donaar, I believe, is the name. We were
I'd be
given.
the shiny one.
Yes. Donaar, there's some individuals that appeared here looking for you. One man says that you know him.
Okay.
Excellent thinking, Donaar. This is
He's
the
just,
perfect way to get the jump on them.
Out in the guardhouse up there. Oh, here he comes now.
We're just
Oh,
going to
boy.
settle up. Captain, is there a possibility that this might turn violent?
I only hope, little guy.
What kind of jurisdiction? What are we looking at in terms of a jurisdiction here? Like, technically, I own this island, or do I own this land?
You do.
Oh,
yes.
So if the Gungrim are after somebody here, do they need my permission to take them, or can they just take them? And if like
Grant him asylum here?
what's the give me like a 30-second rundown of the politics of the situation.
You've never really had to think of that.
As he kind of starts to think, Donaar, you see two dwarven individuals step out, neither of which you recognize.
Okay.
An older, gruff man with long gray hair. Looks to be sort of a not a senior officer, but still well decorated. And the woman that steps out bears a resemblance to him. It almost seems like be possibly his daughter or some other relative. But they're both wearing the formal outfits of a Gungrim officer. The third individual that steps out is indeed one that you recognize, though not one you'd be expecting to see. Not one that any of you were expecting to see.
Oh,
As none other than Connor Boone
are you kidding?
Well,
steps forward,
well.
dressed in Royal Gungrim Navy outfit.
Yeah.
That could, this could either go really good or really bad.
Kind of steps forward a little bit. Two officers kind of flanking him. They each fall back kind of on either side as he gives a bit of a hand, just kind of waves them back.
Donaar will step off the boat and come a little bit closer, keeping the Queous caretakers somewhat in
Proxy moves
between.
out of the way. She's like, I'm a gardener. I have no interest in this. Nibs,
Flick's gonna lean
Nubs
over
is just kind of like watch him like, why?
Flick leans over to Torg like, Definitely violence.
Well, this is disappointing.
You see Boone just like big grin just
That's
Captain.
good to see you, lad.
It is good to see you up and about, indeed. What can we do for you?
Well, I heard about your your summons, and I figured it'd be a good time for me to step in and well, to be honest, I missed you guys. It's been a while, and as you can see, my circumstances have changed a little bit.
Happy to see that, by the way.
Didn't think I'd find myself back in uniform again, but situation as it is in Puerto de Arias, Port Vargost, as they're calling it now. Few
Everyone's
options were
changing their
left
name.
to me.
Wow.
Yes, well, after everything that went down with Ship Boone, which is no more. The high ship, high captain, instituted, let's call it military law, and has taken over. There's some dark forces behind that ship. I swear by it.
We ain't going back there.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Especially since Donaar's made an enemy of even more people who are from there.
That sounds like my old crew.
Yeah, we've been a little busy.
We're making friends everywhere we go.
I've heard some of your exploits. Not directly, but just what's been going on around where you've been.
Surely you've heard the ballads.
Spare me. Not the time, Talon. Well, as it
You
happened,
haven't seemed to change that much.
No. I was back in Stormhaven. Rejoined up with the Navy. They were kind enough to give me a posting back. Thanks for services rendered in the past and all. And Jorand happens to be in Stormhaven as well. Kind of exited with me to this old tower. I'm not even sure how that's manages that, but magic, and all that. So
That really is the only explanation, is magic, yes.
so, you'll be happy to know that he's got his wits about him. He's got his tower stuff going all good.
Good to
As
hear.
soon as I heard of the I have ears, I have connections. I heard the name Donaar. There's a summons being issued. Managed to get a hand on the you contacted the Admiral directly.
Yes,
Or
yeah,
stupid, I'm not sure which.
It was pretty... you did what?
Anyway,
well, the summons was in his name, so I figured if anybody was to be reached about it, it should be him.
you've been out of service for a while then, obviously.
Listen, Donaar, I may not know much about naval policy, but I am smart enough to know that when you get summoned by an organization, it is usually bad form to skip straight up to the head of that organization. It makes you seem like a bit of a... there's only two ways it can go. Either you're one of them... what's the Charons, or you're a brown noser.
Let's go with the first one, because I don't like the name of that second one.
Right.
Anyways, back to my question.
Guys is like, what's wrong with a brown nose?
Absolutely nothing.
Boone just kind of chuckles. He's like,
Mr. Banter. Well, cashed in a favor from Jorand, who teleported me and these two fine officers here. Figured
Well, I can actually come on official business and give you a bit of a heads up as well as to it's a really strange situation. It's opening up a years-old investigation into what happened aboard your old ship. Apparently, they have reason to believe now that there were outside forces at work.
That would track with what I experienced, yeah.
What kind of outside forces?
Outside, as in not from here.
As in an act of God or something?
An act of something from somewhere. You're not the only survivor, Donaar.
Excuse me?
You're not the only survivor.
How is that possible?
Dun, dun, dun!
I don't know. I don't have.
I searched for a whole day, trying to find others.
I don't know the details. I don't have that much sway to find out the particulars, but they want to know what you remember, what you saw. They need another first-hand account to try and put two and two together, because the story that this other individual is sharing with them, it's got them all spooked. Something fierce, let me tell you.
Well, I'm only going to reinforce what they're feeling.
What do you remember? Now, if you don't want to share it, that's fine. But I gotta admit, I'm pretty curious myself. It's all shrouded in secrecy, and never really talked about it much when you were aboard my ship.
No, I haven't.
Or after.
Mm.
That is also true.
But it'll be closer than that by now.
Listen, our whole shtick is being a bunch of enigmas wrapped in mystery.
Yeah, it really should be called the SS Aloof at this point. Like, gee.
Although I think we know everything there is to know about Torque at this point. He's a bit of an open book.
Mm.
It is kind of strange that
Interesting.
all of that came to the forefront before anyone else.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. It feels wrong to call him Captain Boone, you know. Torque won't shut up anymore, so, you know.
Well, I am a captain just in the Navy now. I'm still a captain.
Very good. Well then, Captain Boone, you'll be surprised to hear that Torque won't stop flapping his gums at this point.
I didn't think he had gums.
Oh, he doesn't have teeth.
Anyway.
A beak? Is it a beak?
Jaws.
Suffice to say, I'd be interested to hear your story, Donaar. And look, I kind of figured that you'd have no immediate reason to be heading back to the Navy. So I figured I could come here sort of as a middleman. Maybe I can carry something back for you in the meantime to soothe their interests, but
Would they be satisfied with a second-hand account from you? If I tell you what happened?
it's possible. If I'm persuasive enough, I can be persuasive when I need to be.
Yes, we're familiar with your work.
Ooh. I'm a scribe. We can get a signed affidavit from Donaar here, and my quill appears beside me, floating beside my head, like, I'm ready to go, Skipper.
All right. Well, look, we're standing on the docks right now. Why don't we at least sit down around a table? have some food.
I can see to that. Let's head up to the keep.
This Gaius just kind of says,
Come on, there's at least a
Yes.
good table in there. The kitchens are fairly well stocked.
Excellent. I do hope that the saline air is less saline upon reaching the keep.
I mean, we are still by the ocean. It's not a huge island, but it's a little bit fresher up in there. So follow
Excellent.
me. Let's go.
I also hope they have baths. I don't think any of us have bathed in like a year.
So as you make your way up the winding walk towards the keep, you can see that although the path has been kept more or less, that it is overgrown here and there. One thing that does catch your note is the shrine of Desfuna, clearly marked as such and with familiar underwater motifs and symbols of tridents and the like.
So this will all need to be bulldozed down. We can maybe put up a liquor store.
In the center, there is, similar to what was in the Tidewater Temple, an open clamshell. And as you approach, Pruxia, the gardener, she actually kind of sidles up. And you see her just kind of stare at it.
I'm afraid to say that the blue flame that was there, powered by Desfuna herself, has died out. The shrine with the flame gone has just started to decay, and there's nothing we can do about it. It just seems to, no matter of fixing or mortar or any of it, seems to want to hold it together. It is crumbling as we speak.
Orc's eyes just kind of dart around silently.
Maybe we should replace it with a statue of Torque.
Perhaps not my place to say, but I think that would be a bit hasty.
Well, yeah.
And not entirely appropriate.
Yes.
I think that it would probably be more respectful to just leave the shrine as is for now, which would be my input.
Of course, oh great Torque of the seas. Thy will be done.
Anyway, moving on. I'm sure that you have much more to show us.
Yes, this is all rather depressing. Let us move along.
Continuing on towards the keep, you pass through sort of the main gates of the estate, which have the Vale family name in what once was sort of, gold etched letters. You can see where some of the gold has faded, and they've kept it clear of vines and stuff, but it's definitely not in pristine condition. Crossing over the bridge into the keep proper, it's pretty bare bones. You can see that, again, while kept clean, there's not much to speak of as far as there's no nice decorated shrubs and fountains and like it's very simplistic. Not exactly what you would expect for family of the Vale's reputation, but there's almost a sense of incompleteness that perhaps it was once meant to be something much more bigger with more grandeur, but it never quite got there. It never quite reached that point. And so it seems to be functional, if not much else. Opening the portcullis, and beyond that, the main double wooden doors reinforced with iron that swing open. There's a long hallway, at the end of which there is two dark oak doors. Your footsteps kind of echo and clatter off the bare floor. And as Gaius leads you to the oak doors, he pulls them open, and inside there is what appears to be sort of room functioning both as a main dining room and also a stateroom, room for meetings, for audiences, that sort of thing. And he kind of gets Perxia moving to quickly kind of, get some of the finer cutlery out from storage, and putting a tablecloth down while he himself goes to the nearby kitchen to start preparing some food. And as we prepare for that, why don't we take a short break, and we will resume at the dinner table and Queous Keep momentarily. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good.
Wonderful.
Hey, Elderbrain Collective. If you've been enjoying our live stream D&D campaign and want to support us, there are many ways you can do just that, and we would be super grateful. Seriously, it'd be awesome. First, of course, make sure you're following us on Twitch. Once we get our 50 followers goal, we can make our stream even better with subscriber perks. Then, be sure to follow our Twitter account. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where we post stream VODs as well as additional content coming soon. Of course, you can listen to audio transcripts of our stream on Podbean if that's your preference. Of course, you'll miss out on our handsome faces, but you get our incredible voices, so it's pretty good. You want to hang out with the collective and chat D&D and, well, everything else? Head over to our Discord server. It's open to anyone who wants to join. Finally, we've just launched our Patreon page, which is the optimum and best way to support us. That's redundant. Optimum is best. Each tier gets you additional perks, including exclusive Discord emotes, monthly digital content, behind-the-scenes info and creature stats, and, for the truly faithful, you can even gain power over the PCs in-game, live on stream, and have an impact on what happens next. I think that's pretty awesome. We'd love your support. You can find the links to all of our sites on our Linktree. Check out linktr.ee/elderbrain, Linktree/elderbrain. We hope to see you joining us soon as a member of the collective. Happy gaming, everyone.
Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way over the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way over the sea of souls. Way over the sea of souls. Way over the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way, oh, the sea of souls. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Oyster sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Greetings, wary travelers. My name is Mike, and I will be playing the role of Donaar Neurixius, Dragonborn Wizard on the Sea of Souls. Allow me to get into character and we can learn a little bit more about this pale golden dragon. Being chosen is supposed to be a good thing. Chosen by the gods to serve a purpose. However, it can mean facing a life alone. I was born in our homeland, Drakor, in the east. And though these scales are supposed to be a blessing, I was reviled by so many. I could see their jealousy, could feel their stares. My own people shunned me, and so I left. I still drew stares when I arrived in Stormhaven. It's hard to miss these scales. But the dwarves were far more accepting of me. I learned I could put my magic to good use out on the seas, so I served aboard a ship, adding my arcana to their arsenal. Maybe one day I'll return home. Maybe they will welcome me as Verithan's champion. Or at least, as kin. For now, though, life among the Gungrim is good. I am used to standing out here, used to towering over this good folk. But what they lack in size, they make up for in heart.
Hi, I'm Ian, and I play the goblin Flick Dogslicer, an Eldritch Knight fighter. Once upon a time, there was a goblin named Flick. That's me. He was a good egg, but as a recently emancipated man, he didn't necessarily have the firmest grasp on the rules of free society, and often ended up on the wrong side of the law. So anyway, I'm in this back alley, minding my own business, rooting through the trash, when this old guy in a blue dress and a big floppy hat with stars and crap all over it comes out of nowhere screaming, "Oh my god, it's a goblin," and starts shooting fire out of his hands at me. So I shanked him. I didn't mean to kill him per se, but, heat of the moment and all that. Now even I knew how this would play out with the guard, so I'm looking for a quick escape. But this old guy didn't even have the courtesy of carrying a coin purse, just this big stupid book. So, yoink, and I beat feet to the pier and sign aboard the first ship that's looking for crew. Long story short, with enough time and patience, even a bozo like me can figure out a little magic from that big old book. I joined a good crew and enjoy my life as a seafaring mercenary, trying to keep ahead of the law and maybe make a coin or two for myself. The end. By Flick.
Greetings, tale seekers and story watchers. I am Devon, medieval enthusiast and D&D veteran since my 11th birthday when I received the 3rd edition starter set. Led to a bit of a collection. I will be playing the part of Tayland Wavesinger, human bard and mariner, master of the weaponized sea shanty. Oh, it'd be alright if the wind was in our sails. Tayland is a man slowly being consumed by his own faults. He drinks far too much, and has quite a ruthless disposition against those he dislikes. But he still tries to do what's right when he can. As for his goals, well, I'll let him tell you. Oh, me name is Tayland Wavesinger, and I quickly tell to you of a man that I am a-hunting across the ocean blue, with power over the sea and sky. Believe me when I say that when I finally find the bastard, it'll be his last day.
In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf, the sacred river, ran through caverns measureless to man. Down to a sunless sea.
Torque is a Tortle barbarian, presumed to be the sole survivor of the Loggerhead tribe. Even by Tortle standards, Torque is a taciturn individual, never deigning to use 5 words where 2 will suffice, and as such has been less than forthcoming in sharing his personal history with his compatriots. What is known of Torque is that he was discovered on a remote island by a passing merchant vessel, having apparently been marooned there for some years in the wake of a shipwreck which destroyed the rest of his tribe. It is for this reason that Torque holds a special reverence for Desfuna, goddess of the ocean, whom he believes spared his life in the ocean storm that decimated his kin. Having spent the better part of a decade in near total isolation, Torque is unfamiliar with the ways of the modern world, and his social skills are somewhat lacking. It is perhaps for this reason that he has chosen to align himself with allies who are blessed in the gift of gab, as he continues on his pilgrimage, the destination of which is unknown even to himself. Hi everyone, my name is Jack, and I am not a professional voice actor or performer by any means. However, I do have a serious passion for tabletop RPGs, and I hope that you enjoy this upcoming game as much as we're going to enjoy playing it.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your break. It was refreshing and oh my goodness. So you find yourselves sitting in a small-ish room. It's not huge. Again, this is a keep, not a palace, so no palatial rooms, but it is nice, even if it is sort of sparing as far as furniture. In the time that you've been kind of gathering in the long wooden table, the two fireplaces at the head of the room, one on either corner, have been lit, adding some comfort, not blazing fire, but just some nice comfort to the room. The 4 potted plants are kind of freshened up a little bit, spread. The draperies have have been kind of you can see Proxia kind of going around, and she's like trying to like make everything as nice as she possibly can while Gaius prepares the meal. And the table itself is fairly plain, but it's got a lot of seating. At the far end, there is one almost throne-like chair. It's definitely much larger. It's got 2 large arms that are actually carved in the shape of like lions' heads at the front, and the back has got a plaque with the name Vale kind of right above it. Very ostentatious and like I am Vale kind of thing. But it looks comfortable, and it's got a nice padded cushion to it. And then there's about 8 or 10 other seats that are kind of pulled in. Nothing too fancy, but comfortable enough. The question for Tayland is, do you take the head seat?
A big chair.
The big chair. Is that I mean, well, first of all, we're gonna have to change that plaque to Comic Sans. But let's take the big seat. Why not? Let's go for the experience, and get the full effect.
Okay, so as you go to sit, Flick scampers up behind you and like pulls the chair out for you. May I seat you, Your Honor?
Why, thank you, Esquire. Let it be known to all the realm that you shall now be Flick Dog Slicer Esquire.
And he excessively bows for, thank you so much, Your Excellency. And I will go,
If you understand British Imperial nomenclature, that was a really hilarious joke.
I'm a lawyer now.
Yeah. There you go. Man, it's funny, I can actually see Flick being a lawyer.
The basics is that anybody can be declared Esquire if you don't have a title. You can just decide to be Esquire. So it's a meaningless title. That sounds important.
I always wondered about that.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like, I'm Ted Theodore Logan. Bill S. Preston Esquire. Anybody who was alive then will know what that's all about. Sorry.
So Torque will also take a seat with less pomp and circumstance.
All right. Just setting the room here.
I hope that the chair can handle the total weight.
I do, in fact, have a map for you.
Oh.
Of the keep.
Oh my.
Fancy schmancy.
Look at this.
Well, what have we here? A lot of boxes, mostly.
That sounds about right when you've just moved into a place.
Yeah, unpacking will come later.
So as you take your seat, Gaius prepares a not fancy meal, but filling. There is some freshly caught meat, some freshly caught fish. For those who enjoy it, there's a smattering of all sorts of vegetables, and everything is fresh. Everything looks very, very fresh.
We're giving the rest of the crew like shore leave while all this is happening, right? Like they're allowed to leave the boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Donaar's jurisdiction. That's not me.
Oh, I think Donaar would have sent them all out to walk the gardens, to walk the farm field, wherever they like.
The crew's doing crew things. Yeah, they're just
get some fresh air, stretch their legs.
Yeah. So as you sort of sit in various positions around the table, Boone sits down as well. Keeps the two officers he kind of keeps out of the room, and Gaius kind of gives a bit of a bow.
Should you need us, we'll one of us will just be outside the door, not within listening distance, but just if you need us, just give a holler or open the door, whatever it is.
And
of course.
They all step out to kind of give you that, give you some privacy.
Well, this is all just so dandy.
As soon as you're all sitting around and Boone kind of taking this all in, he's like,
Lord.
I know, right?
Can't say that I'm gonna get used to that.
Well, we'll see how long it lasts. The novelty of being a lord is wearing thin, but it keeps surprising me, so we'll see how this goes.
You have a keep.
Yeah. I figured, a keep would be useful. It's kind of why I thought it might be worthwhile being a lord and all that. I've never actually had a proper home in a long time, so, this is a nice bit of an upgrade.
I imagine with all you gents got on your plate that having a place to call home or base of operations is going to prove to be handy.
How much exactly do you know about what's on our plate, Captain Boone? By the way, what's on your plate's getting cold. Eat it up, come on. You're my guest.
I would also like to know what exactly has become of our reputations since we last parted ways.
I can't say that I knew any of this personally. You can thank Jordan. And not out of spying, but out of genuine concern, he was trying to keep an eye on you. Also out of curiosity as to what became of the scrying job you'd had for him in the first place. I know nothing of the details of your intimate here's and theirs, but we know of Trascades. That name has been appearing elsewhere in the Isles, as is his influence, unfortunately.
Well, it is nice to hear the Navy is also working on that problem.
As much as we're able to, we do have the threat from the Southern Ocean to see to, but we knew that you were in Valtier, that, Trascades was centered on there. There was a tidal wave. There was a bunch of things that had happened. The fall of the spire. Some contacts of Jordan's informed him of those happenings. It seems that wherever you lads go, that this darkness seems to follow. I'm not saying that it's following you, but you seem to be caught up in the thick of all of it.
Torque will be especially silent on that part.
Now, it might interest you to know as well that those relics that you retrieved from the Drakfoss ruins are safely in Jordan's possession right now. He's trying to study them as much as he's able to determine, well, how they were created, what properties they have, and whether they have any connection to this other stuff that's going on.
Well, that's good to hear, I suppose.
Safest place for them to be.
Stormhaven is locked up pretty tight right now. The city's high alert with everything going on. Tien Domain, Gothos's residence here on the material plane, the volcano near the Sea of Storms, blew its top something fierce not too long ago. Tremendous cloud of smoke and ash and fire, great lightnings, like a rage, almost like the storm itself was anguished. Something we've never seen before. Living close to that mountain, you see storms, but this is something different. It's got people worried, people talking that the Storm Father is agitated.
Just as an aside, this is really making me realize just how great it is to literally be given news feeds like on the hour, because holy crap, a lot has happened.
Yeah,
and we just didn't know what was it's wild, because this is really the first time we've actually had news from anywhere other than where we currently are.
That's true. Yeah,
we should probably be asking about that in more taverns.
It is definitely not lost on Torque why the Stormfather might be upset. But he is not going to comment on it at the time.
Torque, you're uncharacteristically quiet.
I think your food is getting cold, my lord.
Can I warm it up for you?
Well, geez, Captain, it seems like a lot has happened.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Giles.
Yeah. Phew. Well, thanks for the breaking news update. But I suppose, unless there's some other crazy shenanigans going on in the rest of the world that we should be aware of, it might be worthwhile to get down to the nature of your visit.
Indeed. I would like to, if you're up for it, catch up on what you gents are up to, and perhaps there's a way I can help, or...
I'm a lord now.
Yes, I got that, but... Anyway.
Well, let's see. I'm Lord. Donaar is a fugitive of war. Flick is a singer-songwriter. And Torque is a demigod.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, ex-demigod, yes.
Having a hard time determining whether you're being facetious or not, but...
Good.
Donaar.
Yeah.
About this, your summons. What can you tell me?
Fleck, you got your paper ready?
And
oh boy,
my quill is out, and it's got a name, and I don't remember what the name is.
Peter?
Stylus, of course.
Donaar will
style us with your backstory.
It's great.
So Donaar will get both elbows up on the table.
Does Stylus copy exactly what is said, or does it translate into goblin speak?
Ooh.
Well, that's for me to know and you to find out now, ain't it?
We're gonna send gibberish back to Stormhaven. Like, we can't read this.
Gibberish, it's a goblin.
That's fair.
In Flick's vernacular, so.
The magnanimous skipper put his mighty arms upon the boards and spake thusly. Carry on.
So Donaar's got his elbows up, his chin resting in his hands, and for anybody paying attention, he takes a moment before he starts talking, and there is perhaps a look that you've maybe not seen on Donaar's face before, but it's not quite grief. It's more, not quite embarrassment, but it's in a way kind of a grieving shame. Well, last time that I was on the Majestic Starling, we were escorting a large shipping vessel up to the Bay of Galadrin. Halfway through our journey, we got caught up in a rather large storm. Big rolling waves, rain was pouring down, threatening to sink us. Thunder was rumbling all around us, the odd lightning strike in the distance. Captain, you understand, we're all trained for rough waters, but this storm was,
Of course.
an exception to that. This thing seemed out to kill us. In our journey, we knew we were fairly close to a small series of islands, so we figured worst case scenario, if we had to ditch, we could ditch in shallower waters and swim to shore. So we turned north to find some refuge, and when we got there, we realized that we were not the only ones who had had the idea. There were 2 other ships that had already thrown anchor, and they were offloading their crew and their supplies. Captain Galrak steered us to the southernmost beach, and we began to load up the rescue boats so that we could make it ashore. That's when the first strike hit the Starling. In the hustle to get off deck, I had left my post, which is on the bow of the ship, because in lightning storms, I, with my abilities, acted as a bit of a lightning rod, since I can absorb elements. But we were so focused on getting off, I, in that moment, had neglected my duty. The bolt struck the front rod and sent a surge of electrical energy through our rain-soaked decking. It splintered the wood, it broke up part of the ship. I saw some of my crewmates thrown overboard from the jolt. Another few were lying still on the deck. We'd experienced lightning strikes before, even malicious attacks from spellcasters, but this seemed as if the gods themselves wanted us dead. Another strike landed on a palm tree on the island, cracked it in half, lit it up on fire a little bit. I yelled up to Bori, my buddy, up in the crow's nest, so I could get up there and channel the lightning to myself. On his way down, the second bolt struck the forward mast. There was this loud cracking sound, and the mast split in half and fell, slamming into one of our rescue boats, spilled its contents and the passengers all over the water below. By now, some of the crew were just jumping overboard trying to swim to shore. It was just getting kind of crazy and chaotic. I continued to climb, hoping to convince the storm to flow through me instead of the Starling. I threw my sword up into the sky like a lightning rod, and that's when the third strike hit. Now, I have absorbed lightning before, from other spellcasters, even from nature herself, but this was something that I was just not prepared for. I felt the strike surge through my hand, down my body, but before I could channel it into usable energy, it escaped through my feet. It crackled down the mast, into the decking, and down to the heart of the ship. I stood there for a moment, kind of looking at my hands like, why did this not work? Trying to understand, had my spell failed? But that moment was very quickly interrupted by an explosion from below. I guess the lightning had found its way into our powder kegs because all of a sudden the ship is just exploding from within. And the mast that I was on gave way. I tumbled out of the nest and all the way down to the water. It was a long way down. And my impact with the water knocked me right out. Next thing I remember, I'm coming to and I'm face down in the sand on the beach. I looked around and all I could see were burnt timbers, dashed boxes, a few of our intact ration containers, but no people. The rescue boats were gone, sunk as far as I could tell, and not even a whiff of any of my Gungrim brothers or sisters could be found. I gathered a few of the things and tried to begin assessing the situation. When one of the other ships that had successfully landed came around, they found me. They hadn't seen any other survivors from the Starling, so they were surprised to see me alive and relatively unharmed. We searched the rest of the day until sundown, but we couldn't find anyone, so I boarded with them and they took me up and dropped me off at their next stop, which was East Hold. Spent about a month there before I found you guys, Captain Boone and the rest of you. You guys were looking for crew. So, I haven't returned to the Gungrim Navy. I feel ashamed. I feel responsible for the loss of my crew, for the loss of my captain, for the loss of Bori, all of my friends. And I've been waiting for this day where somebody was going to call me back to give account for what happened.
So, when you were finally in position to absorb the lightning, it didn't work, right?
No, it's like it went straight through me.
So, if you had been in position to absorb it at your proper post rather than helping with the evacuation, it probably wouldn't have worked then either, right?
Probably not.
So, step one, and this is seeming like a recurring theme today, stop beating yourself up. You did nothing wrong.
I know.
Ayland isn't nearly heartless enough to say this, but oh boy. You mean Donaar's magic was useless?
Oh, no. Oh, Lordy.
You get D inspiration.
I was gonna say, I think the party's been through enough that Talon, while thinking that thought, is not going to
push
vocalize
that one
It's
down.
a good rib, but maybe not the right time for the
Yeah.
Based on your account, Captain, it sounds as though you did everything within your power to protect the crew. And that might not bring closure, but at the very least, I hope it brings some solace in the knowledge that you did do everything you could. And that you don't regret any of your decisions that day.
Well, the whole thing sounds damn peculiar to me. Like, no live or dead bodies from your crew and only your crew.
Yeah.
2 other ships in the same harbor that weren't blasted to smithereens. Like, there's a lot that doesn't add up here.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions.
So, playing Devil's Esquire here for a moment.
Talon's Esquire, actually.
I get it.
I can understand why the Gungrim Navy is interested in what happened there, because it's friggin' weird.
Yeah.
Get that.
Good way of putting it, Flick.
When fate conspires to rob you of all you hold dear, no matter what you've done to try and stop it from happening, the only thing you have left is to seek justice.
Donaar,
Yeah.
Do you remember a woman by the name of Snassus?
I do.
She's a survivor. She's alive.
I mean, I guess there's some sense to that. She was always about illusions. I suppose it's entirely possible that she had hidden herself.
From the little that I've been able to get my hands on regarding the events that she's told it, lines up.
I suppose that's comforting.
Was one other detail that, one particular detail that she mentioned that's got everybody in a fuss. And I think it's why they're pretty keen on getting you back to hear your side of things.
What's that?
You said that you were up on the mast.
That's right.
Really, you were the only one up there.
I had told Bori to come down. That's where his post was. I told him to come down, and I went up.
She said there was 2 people up there. One, she recognized you, shimmering and the like. There was someone else with you. She thought it was Bori. She remembered him coming down, but there was another figure, somebody else up there with you. So the way she tells it, there was 2 people up in the mast, and that lightning hit. And she was kind of watching it from a distance. She'd been thrown into the water at that point.
Mm.
Saw the ship go boom. She came to on a vessel, unknown vessel. Apparently she'd been adrift. Found her floating miles away from where you guys have been wrecked. You don't remember? You're sure Bori wasn't up there with you? There's no one, not another crew member that might have been up in the nest or hanging with you or anything like that at all?
Thing's not really big enough for 2 people to have a post up there. It's usually just Bori.
Yeah.
And when I got up there, I'm a big guy. I take up a lot of space.
Well, your account is almost word for word what she described, but obviously from a different perspective. I don't think there's any way that anybody could find you at fault for anything, Donaar. Flick speaks true. I know the Snassus shields no animosity towards you at all. As far as she's concerned, it was some sort of magical, otherworldly, supernatural something. Freak lightning storm, call it what you will, but I'm gonna say what Flick said. It ain't your fault. The Admiral don't think so either. That's not why they want you. They need to know what happened, because it might just be one ship the way other people see it, but as a Gungrim ship. When lightning comes out of nowhere and
rips one of our ships into pieces with no explanation. We need answers. They want to know, was this a target at a person? Was it a target at the Navy? What was it? They just need to know. I can take your story. I've got a word of recall prepared. Take me back to Stormhaven whenever I'm ready. I'm not too keen to head back just yet, but I'll take it with me, pass it on, and see if that'll buy you some time. Strange.
Yeah.
And done. All right. Skipper, if you want to sign right here.
Donaar
Initial
will,
here.
Donaar will
here,
sign an initial.
Here.
I got so wrapped up in the story that I forgot about the affidavit.
And then I'll just stamp and notarize this. All right. I hand it to Captain Boone. She's all yours.
Drippy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, if you don't mind, Lord Talon,
Aye.
I'd like to stay for a couple days, if I might. Catch up.
Of course. Mi casa es su casa.
Yeah.
Oh, your worshipfulness.
Of course, Lord Esquire.
Might I
Maybe I'll
inquire
leave
about
now, actually.
residence
I don't know if I
for
wanna stick around for
our passenger wizards? Maybe we can put them up in some of these shacks here and not have to cart them around on our boat no more.
Oh, of course. I'm sure we can find very, very comfortable quarters for them to remain, so long as they, of course, pledge fealty to me upon these grounds.
Oh, obviously, but
You see Boone just kind of looking at you like he's got one eye raised, but he's smirking as well. He's just like,
Or just kind of leans over as like, try not to encourage him too much.
You keep this up, and you'll be Chamberlain before the night's out there, young Esquire.
You know, Talon,
I know many things.
for somebody who could never stop ranting and raving about the evils of power, you seem to have acquiesced to this a little bit too nicely.
Oh, please, Captain. It's all in good fun.
Is it? I hope so. You yourself are one who always spoke about what power does to people and how it corrupts them, gets to their heads and stuff. Watch yourself.
guys with the plan, right? Don't want any guys with secret plans. That's the enemy. So all plans on the table, right? Right.
You watch yourself, Talon. You let your friends here steer you clear, steer you straight. If they say you're being a lordy prick, you listen to them.
Well, of course. Titles are just a social construct, after all, as we all know. Doesn't make me any better or worse than anyone else at this table. But I do own the table, and the ground it's on, and the walls around it,
Right.
and the ceiling.
I've seen better.
Yeah, but it's mine.
I'm gonna stretch my legs.
Torches tips over his beer mug and spills it on the table. Oh, oops.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get we'll get that cleaned up. Hey, future Chamberlain, you got one of them mops?
Oh, spiritual swabby. Yeah. Yeah, it's all that sparkling clean.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna go for a walk, gents. Leave you be for now. We'll have time to catch up, I guess. If you feel like letting me in on your plans, see if I can aid you at all. Enjoy the rest of your dinner.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Lord Taylor.
Captain Boone.
yeah, see titles, right?
He exits the room.
Meanwhile, Flick's been sort of using various implements to sort of flip over whatever food's on his plate. It's like, not actually like eating it, just sort of moving, stirring it around a little bit, flipping it over. It's like,
Too fresh.
yeah.
Properly
Yes,
aged to your
not enough-
liking.
Maybe I can leave this out on the patio in the sun for a couple hours. Get that mayonnaise just right curdled.
Oh, nice and sour.
Oh,
Nice
boy.
and sour.
Torx just kind of pushes his plate forward. It's like, I'm suddenly not hungry anymore.
Yeah. Oh, curdled mayonnaise. Oh, it goes all yellow. Like, oh.
It's that nice
Oh,
little
Captain
crust on it. It's
Boone.
delectable.
Flick,
Good old
perhaps you
Captain
should,
Boone, always looking out for us.
Perhaps you should speak to the groundskeeper, Flick. They might have a pile of compost for you to sate yourself with.
Yeah. Crazy people putting it on their friggin' flowers. Practically good eating right there. You are on your game today, Torque.
You get the feeling that Nubs probably has a good stash of proper goblin food.
This is a good point also.
Well, before we adjourn, so Donaar, you really think they're gonna just let you off with a written account?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Boone might buy a little time, but they're gonna drag me there.
So, sorry, I mean to ask you this because you said you've been waiting for someone to call you to account, and yet when they did, now all you want to do is avoid it.
I didn't say that I wanted them to call me to account. I said that I knew that someday they would try, or knew that someday they would.
I see.
It is a pretty big distinction, yeah.
So, I gotta ask. I mean, do we need to be like worried about this? Is this gonna become like a huge thing?
Well, the fact that there's another surviving member of my crew that can verify my story, I no longer look like the one who destroyed the ship, which was my partial concern before, as the sole survivor. It's very suspicious.
Well, verify and then refute certain portions of your story, which,
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that.
yeah.
What
That's
motive
something
would
I'm
what motive would you have had for sinking the ship by yourself? It seems like a bit of a wild accusation.
Oh, I'm not saying that they would have any kind of motive, but just, you know, being the only dragonborn aboard a ship of dwarves, all the dwarves go for a swim.
Yeah. Was it
Ship
going to be
goes boom.
simple racism? Was that what we're going with?
I'm not saying racism, I'm just saying a sole survivor, different from everybody else. It's suspicious. The fact that there is another survivor that can corroborate most of my story, with the exception of one little detail. I don't think they're gonna
somehow-
come, you know, drag me away in cuffs and hold up the ship and all of that, but
Are you sure?
no. I'm fairly confident if they were willing to well, maybe they didn't let Boone come out here, but
I kind of seemed to me like Boone just kind of you know,
Came on his own.
did a solid for us for old time's sake.
Did a boon.
Did a boon.
Yeah.
Double entendre.
He is,
He's like our only real friend in the entire world.
I don't know. I'm pretty friendly with Jorand.
I think we
you're
left
not.
Valencia on good terms.
I wouldn't consider Jordan a friend. I'd consider him more of an acquaintance.
I think we left your cousin Valencia on good terms.
Speak for yourself, Skipper.
I say the people of Val certainly like us. We saved their town, so...
Yeah.
What's left of it?
But, like, they haven't sailed with us and been with us for... You know what I mean? Like, Boone's one of them... You know, he knew us in the before times.
True.
Before we were famous?
He's a right solid...
Infamous.
right solid individual. I don't expect that I expect he's going to do everything he can to make this go in your favor, Donaar, but it also didn't seem like he has, you know, the greatest sway in the Navy. That being said, if he is going to be staying for a few days, we should try to decide what exactly we want the Navy to know about what's been going on, if anything at all. I mean, I don't know anything about the Navy, Donaar. Do you think they could? So, if they're looking into Triscades, they could be a potential ally to us. And
huge ally.
What you're actively doing is going away from the ally part of our involvement with them. If we want their help with Triscades, it would make more sense to be as cooperative as possible.
You're not wrong.
I'm very often not wrong, and yet everyone's always surprised.
The only reason that I'm being hesitant at all to just go with Boone right away is because of the things that we have gotten ourselves into up here. Gungrim is a very far distance from here.
I agree.
For me to leave...
There's no telling how long you'd be away.
Exactly. We have a lot of responsibilities.
What would we do without our ever-useful mage at our fingertips?
And there.
Laying it on a bit thick, my lord.
Between
the point stands.
Yeah. But we have a lot of promises, a lot of balls up in the air right now. In terms of things that we're trying to take care of. I feel like it's going to be hard for me to just walk away from that, because like you said, who knows how long they'd want to keep me.
So, do we then want to just give a full breakdown to Boone and say, look, this is everything we know. We hope it helps you against Triscades as sort of a token of goodwill to say, like, kind of prove your point as to why you're not going back. Like, I mean, listen, I'm going to follow your lead on this, Captain. You are Captain. This is your deal. I'm just trying to make sure that we're looking at all angles, you know. I don't even really know what we're doing at this point other than just in general trying to foil Umbra and Triscades. And this is the first time we've heard of anybody else also trying to do that. So, you know, it kind of goes from one little ship trying to punch a god to an armada of ships trying to punch a god, and that just seems like the better choice.
I agree.
It would certainly improve our odds.
Donaar, give me a history check if you would.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage because it's regarding Navy.
Okay.
Hooray, our conference table is being used for conferences.
Told you doubles.
This is history?
Yeah.
That's really good. I rolled a 15 plus 8, so 23.
Okay. You know that the Gungrim Navy, while being the foremost naval power in the Isles, is primarily occupied, has been for decades, with securing the Southern Ocean from the Ravager fleets. from the far south that have attempted to break into the Isles. The Navy is pretty much the only thing standing between them and the Isles. So while they do have a significant fleet and they do patrol other areas, the likelihood of getting a massive amount of the Navy pulled from there for anything, it would have to be like, they'd have to believe that it would be a threat worth pulling their attention.
Apocalypse type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, wait, they'd have to believe it'd be worth pulling their attention away from basically a threat that could invade and overthrow the entire region.
Hmm.
We might have nothing to go home to if they come help us.
Right.
Yeah.
But they might have nothing to come home to if they don't help
If
us.
they don't come help me, I understand.
I'm sure that argument, as it always does, will go swimmingly.
Yeah.
Assuming that Donaar communicates this.
Yeah. Well, and I'll clarify because Mike had a question about Boone's reference to their attention to the south. So Donaar will pass along that information to everybody.
So we're thinking they might just not really care that much as long as it's, within their own areas.
Well, it depends on how big they think the threat is. We'd have to
If it's big
convince
enough
them.
for Boone to mention it, it's at least something.
Yeah, but Boone would be biased. He's going to go back there with his letter and talk me up, and they're going to be like, but you know him.
Yeah.
They're not going to just take his word.
I mean, this is really it. If we feel like the knowledge we have is going to be a substantial goodwill token towards perhaps an alliance, then great. But if we really don't think it's going to make much difference other than them just being cool, thanks, okay, bye, then I don't know, like, because my point is, like, I don't know about you guys, but I would prefer that the fewest amount of people know kind of what we want to do, because I don't know if you've picked up on this, but there are a lot of people pretending to not serve Umbra and Triskades. In fact, nearly every single place we've gone has had people who were pretending not to worship Umbra and or Triskades, and in fact were. So, we may not want to just be super open with an entire faction about our plans unless we're sure.
In that case, maybe we should stop making coy remarks about demigods and the like. Would you agree?
Please, as long as I say it, no one will take it seriously.
Well, so Talon, what are you suggesting? You want me to go with Boone? Or you don't want me to go with Boone?
I mean, personally, I'd rather you stick around with us, Captain. If you're going with Boone, that means we're all going with you. And I don't think any of us really want to do that. That being said, I mean, other than personal vendettas, we're just a bunch of schmucks. Like, what? If we're going to be having any kind of... We got to keep now, which is great. But if we're going to have any kind of real impact on trying to do anything to stop, the god, I feel like building a strong set of allies is not the worst idea. That being said, I'm not married to the idea of working with the Gungrim Navy. It's a good... Well, a segue wouldn't really be a word that exists in this universe, would it? It's a good one-man cart into this thing that I've been meaning to discuss, which is that what exactly is the overall plan?
Thank you.
When we destroyed the dragon egg back at Valtier. I'm not sure how I can describe it, but in that moment, I know that we dealt a significant blow to Triscades, a wound that he is still in the process of healing. This gives us time, but we should still act with haste. While he is in this weak and invulnerable state, we need to find a means of attacking him again in a way that will be more substantial.
I was going to say, if he's on his heels, then we need to swarm him and get him while he's down.
This might be the only chance we ever get. After all,
this is classic goblin tactics, by the way. So, good job.
Dealing that blow took everything I had. And when I say everything, I think we all know what I mean by that. Which is why our next courses of action are so important. Because the circumstances that led to me dealing that blow might never arise again.
May I interject with a counterpoint there, my good friend Torque? This great blow you dealt to Triscades, no doubt about that, also was a great blow to Umbra, if I'm not mistaken. And Umbra's response was to laugh and hire us as assassins for him. So, I don't mean to belittle your sacrifice, sir, but
well, to be fair, most of the people that we meet do laugh at us. That's just something I've come to terms with. I assume it's because we have you present, although I haven't been able to rule out alternatives.
I am a charming fellow.
Sure. Regardless, our alliance with Umbra, as tenuous as it might be, buys us some time. Umbra is, of course, also not exactly a benevolent force. However, at this time, they do not currently hunger for the destruction of our entire world, which is why I think that we're that we can confidently put him on the back burner for now.
So, if the plan then is, once again, let's punch a god. What we need is a big fist, which we thought we might have had when Torque was a demigod, but no, that's not a thing. And we actually find out that he had to get rid of all of that power to do what I would consider a mild and annoying tickle.
I did punch a god, but I broke some knuckles in the process.
Yeah.
If that metaphor helps.
Yes, that is a very nice visual picture of the metaphorical situation. So then, where I mean, we could. We have a base of operations now. I wasn't sure what kind of state this place was going to be in. I half expected it to be filled with monsters that we needed to clear out. I'm very pleased to find out that that is not the case. So we actually can jump straight to plans of action.
That'd be so cliche.
And I'm sure our illustrious DM would very much enjoy having a rough idea as to where we intended to go next.
As it happens to stand, I might know one place where we might be able to acquire another big fist, although there is some measure of risk involved.
Oh, good, because my only other thought was the only other person we had any chance of getting help from was Jorand, and frankly, I really don't want to go back to that city, especially now.
Tayland.
He is in Stormhaven.
Yeah.
Not in.
I still don't want to go back there.
Know that your Talon, I know that your priory dealt primarily in other gods. However, how much do you know about the Stormfather?
I know he exists.
Religion check.
Yeah, I guess that is a fair point. Yeah. Religion.
I am curious as well. Ooh,
That is
he knows a lot.
21.
I know nothing.
So I guess in terms of from the view through worshippers of Mirentha, what would the Stormfather mean?
You would know that Gothos, the Stormfather, is Marentha's husband.
Cool.
That they were
father of
Desfuna.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I assume the Stormfather had something to do with Desfuna, but
yes.
I wasn't sure what the exact relation was.
So he is a nature god, obviously Stormfather.
Right.
He is the only god of the elder gods who broke through the veil, separating the deities in order to actually make his prime residence on the material plane, which is a place called Tien Domhain, which is his volcano, basically overlooking the Sea of Storms, where he channels all of his power into a massive maelstrom and is currently keeping the Kraken imprisoned.
Well, that just sounds like a great place to go.
Explain that. It's
as it happens.
That's Uncle Windy. Yeah, we all know about him.
Uncle Windy.
As it happens, I have spoken with him before. In fact, the two of us came to something of...
Sorry, Torque, how many gods are you friends with?
Well,
presently just the one, and even then I'm not sure if friendship is exactly how you would define this. It was more of a pact of sorts.
All right, so you're saying we should go visit your weird pseudo father-in-law.
He appears to be in a great deal of turmoil right now, no doubt due to the loss of his daughter. However, when I say there is some risk involved, that is because some of his ire might be directed at me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, hey, this is not necessarily a bad step. You can go there to apologize and explain yourself and hopefully win him over. And Donaar can go there to ask, what the hell with the lightning?
And then apologize and win him over.
Yes. We can knock out two backstories with one stone. Because even if he ain't responsible, I'm sure good old Stormfather is going to have, or Uncle Windy is going to have some sort of idea as to what's up with the weird lightning. We should make sure to call him that when we get there. Yo, what up, Uncle Windy?
Smoked.
Now, I don't think the Stormfather will necessarily blame me for Desfuna's death, although
you are directly responsible.
I mean, not active hand in, but you know.
I merely made use of the last vestiges of her power in a way that he might consider to be reckless or wasteful if he doesn't have the full story.
Do we know much about the Stormfather's like general alignment? I'm assuming very chaotic and angry.
He's pragmatic. He's neutral. But he is he's not one of the evil gods. Like he takes his role as guardian of the Krutakin of Tentavos like very seriously. So he basically sacrificed a part of his power, leaving, entering the veil basically, which stripped him. Like, it's painful for him he had to actually like push through at great cost in order to stop the Kraken from destroying like the entire Isles basically. And he's actively still holding the Kraken at bay. So he's a protector. Like, he is the Stormfather. He's Rage, but
what's the deal with the Kraken?
Fierce.
I'd
say you know enough. Anybody who sails the seas knows that Tamtava is the capital K Kraken. He's one of the Titans. Potentially one of the most powerful and ancient of the Titans. During the deluge, when this entire area of the world was flooded, the Kraken moved in. He sort of dwelt in the southern seas for the most part, but decided to take advantage of the swollen seas here. And until Gothos stepped in, was basically wreaking havoc and destroying life in the Isles very shortly after the deluge. So for about the last 700 to 800 years, Gothos has been actively imprisoning Tamtava at the bottom of the Sea of Storms.
But now, that thing that we encountered between Porta Sands and the Ivory Spire, the big friggin' tentacle thing,
the Terrible
smells real Kraken-y to me. So, like, is he doing a bang up job, or are there like cracks in the armor at this point?
That was not a Kraken. That was an abyssal creature.
That was like
another critter.
Origin.
That was like a Triscades thingamajigger, right?
Or something entirely different. Yeah.
I think the name was Charybdis.
I mean, my first thought was, if the Kraken doesn't serve Triscades, I mean, that's worth keeping that in the back of our minds, I think.
Unleash the Kraken seems like a pretty good.
Release the Kraken always results in very, very good endings. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If our goal is, if we are legitimately going after like an upset of the Pantheon at this point, I feel like beseeching a member of said Pantheon may be a pretty good next step. I think Torque's onto something.
And Torque, you know how to get in contact with this Stormfather?
Well, I did it once before, so it stands to reason that I could potentially do it again.
Is anybody else weirded out at just the amount of things that Torque has done?
As I told Flick, I'm very old.
I'm just rolling with it at this point.
Should I attempt to contact him tonight then? I think that time is of the essence, and if we're all in agreement, then there's no sense in dragging our feet.
No, I think this. Wow, I mean, Captain.
Yes. Try to contact him tonight.
Huzzah!
Very well, Captain.
I call the Council of Wavesinger at an end then.
So speaketh the Lord.
Yes.
Craig, before we wrap, because I know it's getting late, Donaar would like to have one more conversation before we close, if we're wrapping up here.
You hear the peal of thunder in the distant sky. But yes, go ahead.
After our meeting adjourns, Donaar wants to go and find Captain Boone.
Okay.
Grab him by the shirt front.
I have a question about your ability to return to Jorund. Can you take more occupants than arrived here?
No. I, myself, and the two officers with me each have a single word of recall we can use for ourselves to return.
Okay. Then, all right. We're about to try something to further our efforts up here. And if that should fail, I think we might need to consider discussing more with the Gungrim Navy.
Well, I'll be here for the next few days, so I guess we'll see what transpires.
Very good.
You hear that?
Do.
Wasn't me.
I'm curious. I didn't think there was a storm coming.
It's a storm coming.
Storms are brewing.
And we will end our episode there.
Hooray! Let's go use our indomitable charisma that has always served us well to befriend the god of storms.
What could go
Trillium, no
wrong for our
Kraken's always
sailing?
bad news. Yes, I agree. I agree,
What
Trillium.
could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. Well, we've got some potential avenues to pursue. So we'll see what transpires next. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And we will catch you next time on Sea of Souls. Until then, happy gaming, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wind at your back.
No Krakens.